Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and we are going to have a quick Kiki catch up on the latest rumor surrounding the Real Housewives of Dubai. As we all know, this week is part one of their reunion. But before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. And check out everything down below, from super thanks to the description box, for all the goodies we have for you. So with that, let's dive in. So allegedly, word on the street is that it is going to come out, it's going to be exposed that Chanel Ayan of Real Housewives of Dubai had been planting and spreading essentially like fake news, misinformation about her castmates. Obviously not Lisa, since her and Lisa are super close, they're best friends, they're always in cahoots. But she was spreading misinformation and fake news about like Carolyn Stanberry, about Nina, about Sarah, about Brooks and all of this stuff. And allegedly she's been going around, asking the girls for forgiveness, being like, forgive me, please don't get me in trouble, because I guess in Dubai, spreading misinformation is illegal. Like, I guess we have like slander here and defamation here, but they're saying whatever the legalities are over there. I don't know what the legalities are, but allegedly she's going around and begging the women not to sort of, press charges or sue her for placing out all this misinformation. Now, some people are saying this is true because, as we all know, right out the gate, Chanel Iman, hey Natalia, what's up, Candy Cane? She says, hi Candy, hey sweetheart, what is up? Hey Amelia French, she goes, hey Candy, it's been too long since I could catch you live. All good. We are gonna do it. We're gonna do a quick little catch up, guys. Hello, sweethearts. So yeah, so some people are saying, hey, who said Kate? Hey, who said Kate? She says, hey Candy Canes and friends, hey sweetheart. So some people are saying this is why out of the gate, Chanel Iman or Chanel Ayan really came out as like a fan favorite. Everyone was like checking for her. They're like, oh, the model girl, the Black African girl, she's amazing, she's great, she has the reads, she has the clips, she has the fashions, she's amazing. And then there was all of this sort of bad press about the other girls kind of being flat, living fake lives, their plastic surgery, their honorary degrees, and this, that, and the third, and all of that, right? And that Chanel and Lisa, like prior to filming, had kind of gone to the other girls and were like, hey, could you like, go light on us in the confessionals, on all that, particularly with Chanel being like, go light on us in the confessionals. You have our back, we'll have your back, and we'll just kind of have this pact. But then when it turns out, Chanel and Lisa kind of was just like really going in on Nina and Sarah and Brooks. And then the other girls were kind of, treading more lightly. Except for Brooks, because Brooks was reading a chick. Brooks was telling it like it is. She was reading them down. So allegedly, that's what everyone is saying happened. So essentially, Chanel Ayan was selling and spreading misinformation and fake news about her castmates, and she had asked them to go easy on her, and that Lisa and Chanel had actually been tapping Jen Shah from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for information, for, guidance on, how do you get the most camera time? How do you become a fan favorite? How do you bring, the over-the-top drama so you come back next season? They're basically going to Jen Shah, who we all know just pled guilty to being fraud felon person who was defrauding elderly people and at-risk people for millions and millions of dollars, but for some reason they thought she was the person to go to for guidance. Okay. Now, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat box, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay. Because I love a good conspiracy. Hey, you said Kate says, dang, all these people being exposed. I know. You know what it is? I think now in this era where it's social media and it's the blogs and people are talking, it's a post-lockdown world, I think that we're kind of done with the BS. We're kind of done with it. If that makes sense, I feel like the audience's appetite has changed. Hey, Natalia. She goes, "Hi, I believe it because she claims a fake she I'm sorry, she claims a fake and she looks like she puts on for TV who walks around with a gown to go shopping and did it for attention for television." That's a really good point because that was one thing that Sarah and Nina were saying that, when Chanel had invited them out, she was like, "Oh, just wear something from Zara, like, keep it cute and cash." So they show up cute and cash, and she showed up in like a chiffon, sequined, over the top gown when they were going to get like dim sum or something. Do you know what I mean? So that was a really good point. Hey, Katie. Hi, Taste Like Candy. Hey, sweetheart. What's up? Hey, Mirelle says hello. Hey, Mirelle. Hi, Candy. New subscriber here. Well, welcome. Welcome. Yes, we are all candy canes over here. Welcome. Hey, Natalia. She goes, "I believe it. Who walks on the gown to go shopping? I think she did everything for television." Okay. Now, yes, here is what I think. Do I think Chanel Ayan spread misinformation about Nina and Carolyn Stansberry and Brooks and Sarah to bloggers and to the press and to all of that? Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the support. To the bloggers and everything, initially, no. I don't think going into the season, she spread misinformation about them. I think going in, but follow me, rock with me on this, because you know me and my conspiracies. You got to rock with me, right? Going into the season, I don't think that she spread misinformation to bloggers, to the press outside. Not going in. Going in, do I think that she went to like Nina and Brooks and Sarah and were like, not so much Carolyn Stanberry, because Carolyn Stanberry and Chanel don't rock with each other. Do I think all of them sort of had this pact of you go light on me, I'll go light on you. We'll go in on Carolyn Stanberry. She's already the archetype mean girl. So let's just go in on her, but let all of us, have a pact and look out for each other. Sort of like the Fox 4-5 over in Beverly Hills, or the Fox 4-4 now. Sort of like that type of pact. Like, we'll have one person that will make the villain. But don't get me wrong, I don't think Carolyn Stanberry is an innocent person. I'm just saying what I think they did. We'll make her the villain, but then, in the confessionals and everything else, we'll just go light on each other. I think that pact 100% happened. Do I think that Chanel is faking for the cameras? 100%. I believe that her and Lisa did go to Jen Shah for pointers because they wanted to be the cool girls. They wanted to bring the drama. They wanted to bring the fashion. They wanted to be the fan favorite. They wanted all this, that, and the third, right? So I do think that they did go to Jen Shah for pointers. I do think that Chanel puts on a lot. I think that she is 100%, like, you can't be the victim every single episode. Like, you can't. I'm tired of watching Chanel cry. I have compassion and understanding for her childhood. So I'm not taking that away from her. I'm not diminishing that. And I'm not being disrespectful towards it. But there comes a point where I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't. Do I want to see your healing journey 100%? Because I think that is helpful to people. But there comes a point where every scene can't be you crying about a goat from 25 years ago. It has to stop. I think that she was putting on. I think that she completely was not using her trauma, because I don't think it was a conscious thing, and I want to be very, very respectful towards her because I do believe that the trauma she went through was real. But at the same time, do I think that she plays the victim a lot? Yes. Do I think she projects a lot? Yes. Do I think that she was putting on a show for TV? Yes. Do I think we ever saw the real Chanel Ayan? No. I think we saw her representative. I think we saw the version of Chanel that she thought would become the fan favorite, which she did. She was never my favorite personally. That she thought would become the fan favorite, that she could garner sympathy, and that she would use this alliance with the other girls to have a really, really easier edit on the show. She got a really great edit, if we're being honest. She got a great edit, and she was a fan favorite. Think about Heather Gay. Season 1 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Heather Gay got a great edit. But now, as we see, season 3, Heather Gray is a monster, and she's really annoying, and she's very conniving and very manipulative, and not this sort of like docile victim that she wanted to pretend to be in season 1. Now, I'm not saying that Chanel is a bad person. I don't think she's bad. I'm actually saying this in the spirit of like a fun, good, key light drama, which I think we all need right now, given everything going on. So I'm not bashing Chanel personally, but I do believe that she asked the other girls to go light on her, but then in the confessional, she went in on them. I do think that once the show started to air, maybe midway through to now, do I think she planted misinformation and, bad stuff in the press and in the media and the blogs about her co-stars? Yes. I don't think she did it in the beginning, but do I think she did it midway through to now? Yes, I do. If that makes sense. Like, I don't think she came out, I don't think I don't think pre-filming she did it, but I think during filming and now 100%. And if you guys saw her, or if you read, hey Darren says, hey Candy, hey sweetheart. Now, if you read her interview in Vulture magazine, I think her talking about her trauma was amazing and beautiful in Vulture magazine, to get it out there, to get the word out, to get awareness, to get people opening up about their trauma, to get people having hurt. But I think she also misrepresented the reason why she goes off on Carolyn Stanberry so much. Like, to me, it was very hypocritical. You can't be like, oh, Carolyn was calling people, asking information about me. Carolyn didn't want to film with me. She didn't like me, all this stuff. And that's why I popped off on her in the last episode. No, you popped off on Caroline in the last episode because you were caught in your feelings about your own insecurity. And that's very hypocritical, because it's coming out now, and we're going to see this in the reunion, that you were doing the same thing. All of the women were doing the same thing to each other. They were all calling each other. Because even Lisa and Chanel was mad at Nina, because they were like, we were talking crap about Carolyn, so you just told on yourself. And now all of a sudden you're friends with Carolyn. I don't get it, right? So the truth of the matter is, all of the women were talking crap about each other. All of the women were calling and trying to get dirt and information and ammunition, because that's kind of just the way the show goes. You know what I mean? Like, that's how the show goes. You call around, who's the new girl? Who's going to be on the cast? What does she do? How much money does she have? What does her husband do? Like, that is just kind of how it is. And I thought it was really weird for Chanel to kind of come at Carolyn Stanberry for that, when they all did it, and to say that's why I kept popping off on you. Like, that to me just didn't make sense. What I think happened is, I think all the girls got together, except for Carolyn Stanberry, and they had made a pact to stick together and to go against Carolyn Stanberry. But then once the camera started rolling, Nina jumped ship over to Caroline. Brooks was playing defense. She was flip-flopping between her homegirls and Caroline. Nina and Sarah jumped over to Carolyn Stanberry's side, and it just left Chanel and Lisa on an island by themselves. That's what I think happened. I think all the women were guilty of it. They were all guilty of trying to get dirt on each other and talking about each other behind each other's back. Now, do I think Chanel needs to be exposed? Do I think Chanel did anything worse than any of the other women? That remains to be seen. I need to know exactly, because I think context and content matters, right? So I need to know, like, do I think Chanel leaked out fake misinformation or negative stuff about her castmates? Yeah. But I need to know what it was. If it was just some BS story about something, gowns and borrowing gowns and Zara, whatever, if it's on the level of like Botgate over here, then we need to talk. So I'm kind of like squinting a little bit with like being this hard on Chanel, that I've, seen everybody else report, like Chanel exposed, going down, and all that stuff, right? Because I'm kind of like, I don't think she necessarily did anything worse than what all the other women are doing or have done, if that makes sense. So my verdict is they had the pact. Some people went back on the pact. Do I think they're spreading misinformation? 100%. Do I think Chanel has done it? Yes, but I think the other women probably have done it too. I need to know the context. I need to know what type of misinformation was it? What type of fake news was it? Because I think that matters. Before I'm going to really crucify Chanel, I need to know what exactly was the misinformation. Because it's one thing to do like the horrible bots and what they were saying. It's another thing to be like, oh, girl, she borrows her gowns. Oh, girl, she's not this or that. You know what I mean? Like, there's levels to it. So I need to find out what it is. But I do think that Chanel has been very fake on the show. I think she really makes herself the victim. I don't think we've really seen the true Chanel yet. And I want to. I want to see the true Chanel. I want to see her sort of be authentically vulnerable, because just because you're crying doesn't mean you're being authentic. Just because you're crying doesn't mean you're being vulnerable. So I want to see the real Chanel, because I don't think we've seen the real Chanel, if that makes sense. And I think she's probably a lovely person. I think that her own insecurity and her own low self-esteem makes her think that she has to perform in order to be liked, when I bet you we would like her a lot more if she was actually just herself. And I also want to be clear that I'm not giving Caroline Stanbury a pass. I actually think Caroline Stanbury is probably really depressed and not happy. She hasn't looked happy this entire season. I think that there's a lot going on behind the scenes with her and Sergio, because I always squint at these Instagram couples and I'm always like, what's really good behind the scenes? She already said she didn't want to get married and he forced her to get married. She already said that her body, literally couldn't handle carrying another child. He forced her to get IVF. So it's just like what's really going on behind the scenes? I don't think Caroline Stanbury is very happy. I know that they're going to address her allegedly being on the Jeffrey Epstein notebook and what does that entail. So I want to see what happens there. So right now, I think the verdict is still out. Once we see the reunion, once we see the receipts, once we see what happens, I think there'll be a lot more to talk about. But again, I do think that Chanel kind of has been exposed as being phony and being fake. You know what I mean? Like, do I think she told the girls to wear Zara and then she showed up in a lilac chiffon dress on purpose? Yeah. I think she did do it on purpose. And I do think that her and Lisa did go to Jen Shah asking for information. I know it's been leaked being like, oh, Chanel doesn't own the gowns. The designers lend them to her. Who cares? Chanel doesn't have to own the gowns. A lot of people, like, you have very rich and famous A-list actors who still borrow gowns. Like, to me, that doesn't make that type of stuff to me is like the fluff stuff. I'm like, who cares? Who cares if she borrows a gown and she doesn't own the clothes? Please, when I'm able to buy a gown, I don't even know if I'm going to do that. Who wants to waste thousands of dollars on one dress you're going to wear in 2 scenes? It's smarter to borrow, to keep your money in your pocket. So the people who are trying to shade her, being like, oh, she's broke, she's this, she's that. No, maybe she's actually smart. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to spend $10,000, $20,000 on a dress I'm going to wear one time. Why would you not borrow that and keep that $10,000 in your pocket? So the bloggers who are trying to come after her for that, I'm like, miss me with it. I want to see the real Chanel, and I need to know the content of what the stuff was, and then we can see what the deal is. But as always, let me know what you guys think. So be sure, if you're watching on the replay or if you're watching live, put it in the comment box. Do you believe that we've ever seen the real Chanel Ayan? Do you believe that there was an alliance that the other girls broke in favor of joining Caroline Stanbury's side? And do you think that, Lisa and Chanel sought the comfort and the guidance of Jen Shaw because they wanted to be a fan favorite? And we can also talk about Lisa because Lisa also is kind of an enigma as well of the whole situation. But we'll be back to talk about the Real Housewives of Dubai reunion, which goes down tomorrow after the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live, because we'll be doing the recaps and we'll be getting more into it. So until next time, everybody, take care of yourself and each other, and I love you. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!